welcome to another session today. My name is Kenneth Amechi, and I'm a professor of business and sustainable development at the University of Edinburgh in the UK. I'm also a professor of sustainable finance at the European University Institute in Florence. I also work as the chief economic advisor to the Imo State government, a role I do on a part-time basis. So this webinar is on exploring opportunities in Imo State. And we have run a number of them now. And today's session will be on the business of fashion. So we have an interesting set of panelists who look at fashion as a business and then showcase the possible opportunities for Imo people. So permit me to welcome all of them and invite Mr. John Alabi to introduce himself before my co-moderator comes on board, Dr. Jude Nzako. Mr. Alabi, please introduce yourself to our audience and tell them what you do.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, everyone on the platform. My name is Alabi John Ozobehe, and I am the general manager of Razor Sharp Collection. Razor Sharp Collection is a clothing business, and we are into sales of clothing materials for male and female. And our headquarters is in Abuja, Nigeria, and we have outlets across the nation. We have in Lagos, Owerri, Port Harcourt, and Jos. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So whereabouts are you in Owerri?
Okay, our store is located along Wedra Road, and it's before Cherry Green Junction. For Cherry Green Junction, yes. It's directly opposite MTN office along the road.
Okay, brilliant. So can you tell our audience the kind of things you sell? So if I walk into your shop or store in Owerri today, what will I find?
Okay, for male, we have everything. We have shirts like what I'm wearing. We have t-shirts. We have pocket shirts. We have shoes. We have sneakers. We have jeans. We have suits. We have blazers. Then for the ladies, we have their dresses, dinner gowns, party gowns. We have tops. We have shoes. We have bags. We have accessories, and we have jeans for ladies too. So we separate everything about male and female, everything that a man can wear and a woman can wear. We sell a whole lot of items that we sell in our outlet, and it's quite one of our big branch, across the nation.
Okay, great. So do you want to tell our audience, how did you get into this business? Let me invite my co-moderator, Dr. Jude Nzako, to introduce himself briefly and also say hello to the audience.
Hello, audience. I'm sorry I'm joining late. I'm glad to be here. I hope we'll have a great time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jude. I wanted to invite you to explain to our audience how you got into this business of fashion.
Okay, we started this business about 22 years ago, and it started from scratch, from the normal African market. So, but by God's grace, it grew up to the level we are operating this present time. And I must tell you that it's quite challenging, but when there is hard work and there is persistence and there is opportunities to grab. So, we by and large got here by the grace of God. However, going into this business is not something you can just start one day and then venture into. No matter how small you start, So if you're starting, I will advise that you'll be persistent with what you're doing, and that you shouldn't expect to make it big from where you're starting from. Wherever you're starting from very small, from big, and anywhere you're starting from, it shouldn't be a such a kind of business venture that you're expecting immediate return from. So there's no immediate return in this kind of business, but as time goes on, you're sure that your brand is going to grow, and by the time it grows, you will enjoy the fruit of all your past labor. That is that.
Okay, so what you're telling our people today is it's not about quick money, right? It's about
it's not about quick money. You have to work for it. You have to put in the work first. Put in the work, then without expecting any return immediately. But as time goes on, returns are going to creep in, and you will like it by the time your business is standing straight.
Okay. So in terms of turnover, without necessarily disclosing anything you think is not competitively necessary, what's the kind of turnover for the sort of business you're thinking of here? So is it a big business or a small business? Maybe another way to ask the question is, if a young person wants to go into this business, how much would they be making maybe on a monthly basis?
There are several factors that will determine how much you will be making. So, but I would like to use us as an example. For instance, if you're starting and you have like 500,000 naira investment capital, you should be expecting a turnover of say 100,000 naira every month if the market is booming. So if there is, hello, I don't know if you can hear me. So if the market is moving very well, so you should be expecting 100,000 naira turnover at the end of the month. However, so this 100,000 is not for you to spend. It's for you to put back into the business so that the business can grow first. So when you get to a certain level, then you can now begin to earmark certain amount of the turnover, for pleasure.
Okay, great. You mentioned that your business has 9 branches across Nigeria, and you are in Imo State. Yes. So what would somebody in Imo State, how can an entrepreneur in Imo State or a small business or even a shop contribute or add value to what you're doing? So what are the opportunities there for those that have not become as big as you are in Imo State? What sort of things would you expect them to contribute to you?
Okay, one of what they could do is there could be partnership opportunity in such a way that we usually do, although we stopped for a while, but we usually do third-party sales. That is, you come to us, we'll sell to you at wholesale. You go to your target market and sell. Then you bring us our own money. We can give, depending on the relationship, we can even give you ahead of time you sell and bring us back the money, or you pay us half, whatever the arrangement is, but it's going to be a win-win kind of arrangement that is favors you and it favors us too. That's number one. Then another thing that someone can do with us is they can invest in marketing our brand in such a way that whatever customer, whatever client come from, their marketing exercise, whatever returns we have from them, we can give them their own share of it. You understand? So they could do that for us. They could also invest in logistics. We spend so much in logistics too, especially when we take our goods from the head office to Owerri, then from Owerri to the branch. So we could have like a partnership in such a way that when anytime our goods comes into Owerri, this particular person is the one that will bring it to us in our branch. You understand? So they could partnership with us on that ground too.
Okay, before I bring my co-moderator in, I'm just wondering if somebody wants to do this with you, because what you have highlighted here is also an opportunity. Let's assume you have a website, you sell online, then you have some logistic company that can even help you take those products to your customers. But if I want to do business with you today in Imo State, how do I access you? What do I need to do? Do I just walk into your branch and then speak to someone there, or do you have a process for people coming to you to
okay, whatever business opportunity it is that anybody wants to reach out to us for, the first thing to do is to reach out to the branch manager there in Owerri. So the branch manager will hear you out. If it's something we can do, if it's something we can partnership with you on, then the person will refer you to the head office, to the management office, then where talks will continue and probably will strike deal.
Okay, so do you want to give us that address again for people who just joined? Maybe they can know exactly.
I don't have the actual address, but I know it's along. I don't have it here, but it's along Wedra Road, and it's before Cherubim Junction, directly opposite MTN office.
And the name is what? The name of the company?
Razor Sharp Collection.
Okay, brilliant. Yes. Just hold on then. Dr. Jude Nzako wants to come in.
Yeah, thanks, Prof. Thank you, Alabi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think there's a great opportunity there, as you've highlighted. I hope our listeners will key in, especially with the revolution in internet trading. I'm sure you're providing an opportunity for people to actually become fashion buyers and sellers without really owning the stock. So that's a great opportunity there. But I wanted to help the audience to talk slightly about your early days when you started. There must have been some challenges because you didn't just grow overnight. For those who are thinking to enter the industry now or start like you, what sort of challenges would they expect? And also, if you can take this as well, how do you source your product now? Do you import them or do you get them locally? Can you now take people who can produce locally for you? Would you be able to buy from them? And if you can, I think that if you can address this, I'm sure there'll be some opportunities that can come up there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I can respond, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. From our early days, like I said, I made mention not quite long that we started as an Okrika market. That is, we sell used clothes. So what we did then was that we go to Onitsha, we go to Lagos to source for those items. Then we bring those items to Jos. That was where we started, from Jos, Plateau State. Then we begin to sell. As we sell, we go there, we go back again to buy. And I remember that my director usually tells us that this business started. He started it with a capital of 5,000 naira at that time. That's about 22 years ago. So what he what he said was that he used 5,000 naira to go into the market, buy whatever the 5,000 naira buy for him. He brought them to Jos, then sell. He made small profit on it, added it to the 5,000 naira he had, went back to the market again, like that, on a loop, like that. And, gradually the business started growing. And then at some point, he had to access a loan from the bank, to grow the business. And, that was how we started. Then the challenges, there are so many challenges. First of all, the challenge of trying not trying to please anybody. Like, you know, this peer pressure thing, you have a business to cater for, and you see your guys, your friends, your relatives, you know, doing well. They are wearing good clothes, they are wearing good shoes, and all of those. They are spending money, and you are only your own interest is to conserve your money and pull it into your business. You know, it's very challenging at the time, because there are difference in, you know, in the interest there. So your own interest is to grow your business, while this person's interest is to look good and to spend money. Then another one is the challenge of financial prudence. You know, you have to be prudent with your finances. You have to keep them very well. You have to for lack of the proper word, you have to keep accurate record of your activities. You know, accurate record. Record is very important in this kind of business. If you don't keep your record, you know, of what you buy, how you buy them, what you sell, how you sell them, what profit came to you, what, you know, profit are you expecting, and what came to you, what you have needs to be properly documented, that your capital is being attacked. And once that starts happening, then your business sure is going to suffer some setback. So you made mention of where we source from. We source from different, we source from, you know, abroad, and we source from different locations. We source from the US, from China, from the UK, from Italy too. So those are the places we source. Then for the local market, we're just delving into the local market now. So we've not really had a big breakthrough on that aspect, but we have one or two people that we are partnering with, and we are selling, we are buying their product, and we are selling it in our outlets.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Mr. John Alabi. And we have an interesting business model, and one that is also that can benefit from the local economy. So we encourage you also to partner with suppliers in Imo State and see how they can also contribute to what you're doing. Many thanks for that. Okay, I can also see that the Honorable Commissioner is now with us. I invite him to say a word or two to our audience. The Honorable Commissioner for Industry.
I wish everybody, and it's unfortunate I didn't get clearly what Alabi was saying. I just came in when he was almost at the conclusion of his presentation. Otherwise,
yeah, that's fine. Just for you to say hello to the audience, that's the usual thing. Yes. At least they know that there is a government presence, right? So as someone representing the government and listening in case they have challenges that government may take on board, because this is about it's not a one-way traffic. We listen to them, they also listen to us and share opportunities. And as a representative of the government and the ministry, just to reassure our audience that you are here and listening to us, and
we're taking notes to help us plan.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So let me turn over to Ngozi. Ngozi, do you want to introduce yourself to our audience and also explain what you do?
Good afternoon, everyone. Still good morning. My name is Ehime Ngozi. I'm the creative director of Creative Success Fashion Academy. It's a fashion school. So what we do is to train people, especially females. We do more females, to how to operate in the fashion industry, not just the tailoring parts, the illustration, the merchandising, as into market, the products, and almost everything about the fashion industry. Yeah, that's what we do. And we are located at number 7 Man Street, just off Wedra. So we do.
Okay, great. So you seem to have a bias for women, or female as you described it. You know, why that?
It's not a bias. We're not being gender biased at all. is part of the SDG program, you know, and we're trying to make our females comfortable, create that environment where they can actually just gather, feel very comfortable to learn the skill. Yeah.
Okay, great. Tell me, is it possible to, given the fact that you are in this space for a while now, I think more than 10 years, what is the fashion industry landscape like in Imo State?
Yeah, it's actually very big. I must say that the Imolites are very fashionable. They like fashion a lot. So you can see it when you walk down the street, you see the number of boutiques and fashion houses littered everywhere. So is a big opportunity for people that want to venture into it. And yeah, it's a very big one.
But do they make money? That's the point, right?
I believe they do. If they don't, we won't be seeing them everywhere. It's a big, yeah, they do.
So what's the average income somebody can make from fashion in Imo State today?
Like, it depends on the structure, you know. Are you operating on the large scale or medium scale or small scale? And it depends also on what you're doing. If I can only speak for the production part, though I'm more of a tutor, depending on how you are, or your market, your target market. On the medium scale, I think even off peak, you should make up to 200,000 in a month. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. At least it's a lot more than the minimum wage, isn't it?
Of course.
Okay, so tell us more about your products. In this case, your training program. So let's assume I'm a young graduate and I want to come into this space. I have zero understanding of fashion business. How can your business help me?
Okay, we actually have 2 courses in the school. We have the beginners class, we have the intermediate class, and we have the advanced class. So for somebody that doesn't have an idea of how to sew or how to operate in the business, you have to start from scratch, which is the beginners class. Because in that course, you're taught everything you need to know to do from the scratch, okay? Then in the intermediate course, as you grow, you upgrade. The more, just like primary school, secondary school, and university, but you need to start from scratch to learn everything. And our program, what we usually do, most times we do what the lawyers will call pro bono. We train some people for free because we're trying to give back to the society. We have sponsors too that come in to train people or sponsor people for free. Okay, that's what the school actually stands for. There is no year that we don't train people for free. So if you don't have an idea of how to sew and you want to learn how to sew very well, not just how to sew, how to operate in the fashion business, then yeah.
Okay, just to be much more specific, how much does it cost, for example, to do the beginner's course, right?
Okay, the beginner's course is 150 because it's a fashion school. It's not just a tailoring shop. It has a standard that is acceptable, not just in Nigeria. We use curriculum that's, you can actually operate.
And how long does it
abroad.
last?
The beginner's class is 3 months. The intermediate class is 4 months. Then the advanced class is 6 weeks, depending on what the person wants to upgrade on, yeah.
And what sort of people do you want to come onto this program? Would they be graduates or people from secondary school, or what sort of people would you normally take on board?
Okay, when we started, we just take up graduates, okay, just graduates. But recently we found out that it's not really the graduate thing, it's about intelligence, okay? So most times we take people that just finished secondary school, we interview them to be sure they can do it, because we don't want to be getting what I ordered and what I got. It's not a business for people that are dull, unlike what people think. You have to be very smart and creative, and you need to have that passion to really be in the fashion business. Yeah.
Okay, John, I know you need to leave as soon as possible, but how can your business work with Ngozi's business in Imo State? Dr. Jude Uzoakor to ask this question.
Thanks, Prof. Just a brief one. Ngozi, do you have any system in place to monitor some of your graduates to know whether really they are progressing as business people? Do you have any statistics to
Yes,
tell us whether they're doing well or not doing well?
Yes, sir, I do, because it's a continuous thing for me. What we do, I have like a WhatsApp group where we are all there. Everybody that graduated from my school is there. So most times they get back to me, I get feedback from them. And the people that are still around Owerri, or whenever I visit the cities they are, once in a while I drop by to see what they're doing, or I sneak into their social media, wherever, so forth. Some of them that are using it, to be sure they're doing the right thing, because it's not just about training, or just like mothers, you don't just give birth, you train them and you continue mentoring them, because it's a continuous stuff. You don't learn it in 1 year. So you need to be there, nurture them until you're sure they can do without you. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, you didn't tell us, sorry, I'm not sure I caught the name of your school. What is it called?
Creative Success Fashion Academy.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
And again, the point you made about sponsorship, what you're saying also is that if there are companies out there who want to train entrepreneurs or people in the fashion business, that you're open for business as well, in the sense that they,
Yes.
I mean, I know a lot of companies that do corporate social responsibility, and not only companies, it could also be individuals who want to support members of their kindred or communities or whatever. They might as well send them to you, right? Do you give them any discount as such?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. For mostly individuals, yes, we do. Because it's not actually easy to train or sponsor somebody in this economic situation. So yeah, we do.
Okay, so how do they reach you then? If somebody is listening to this program now wants to reach you, how do they come to you?
They can chat us through our social media handles or our phone number 0806009922. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So if you are joining us, you're listening to the Imo Economy Study webinar series produced by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government, and to a large extent also supported by the governor himself, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. So today we are focusing on the business of fashion in Imo State and exploring the opportunities across the value chain. So we have interesting panelists that have spoken to us in different about different opportunities. So permit me now to invite Zubi. Zubi is a fashion entrepreneur in Imo State, and also representing probably what I may call Generation X or Z, as they call them these days, a millennial. So she can tell us her story and how she finds the business of fashion in Imo State. Zubi, over to you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Akali Nsabako. I'm the creative director of Cindy Couture. I'm a seamstress and a designer, though I have some workers that work with me as well. Then I have a few apprentices, if I should put it that way. Yes, I don't own a fashion school yet, but I'm hoping to own one in future. We're still trying to grow.
Okay, so where are you located?
I'm located at Federal Housing Estate.
Okay.
Umuguma Federal Housing Estate, yes.
Okay. So how do you see the business of fashion in Imo State? You know, how do you say that? I know you are based in Owerri, but what is Owerri like? And then do you do business outside Owerri as well? Do you have clients who are outside Owerri?
Oh, well, yes, I have so many clients in Owerri here, and I have outside Owerri as well. Yeah, people really, like Mrs. Ngozi said, Imo people like fashion a lot. They like wearing clothes. They like every party they want to go to. They want to wear some new stuff, you know. They want to represent every time. Yeah.
Okay. You speak so well, so forgive me if I make a very reasonable assumption here. It looks like you're a graduate, right?
I am a graduate. I studied French.
Oh, that's good. So that should really encourage all the graduates out there. Now, as far as I can hear you here, you seem to possess more capacity within yourself and your business? Are you looking to grow your business, and what other people are you involving in your chain? Because in this fashion chain, there's a whole lot that can still be there, and some emo lives that don't know where to start from can really be part of your team. Are you doing anything about that?
All these things boils down to finance. If you have money, I think you can grow your business to any extent you want to grow it to. So I actually started in my room where I was serving in Enugu. From my room, after service, I came back to my father's house. I used his balcony as my shop. From his balcony, I rented a place and I started there, excuse me. So if in future, of course, I would want to grow past what I am now, how I am now. I'd love to own a fashion school like Mrs. Ngozi.
Right. Okay. Well, it would probably maybe better to have a focus here and have a business model, because some investors may be interested in what you're doing. I'm sure you know there are people out there that probably listening to you right now and who may want to invest in you if they think you can produce them some profit. But yes, I'm sure that we'll keep in touch after this session. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the point you made there is very, very important, Dr. Jude, because sometimes we see micro businesses or even nano businesses, right? So the idea to grow is also very important. So you're not doing that yourself alone. There is a statistic that shows that Imo State has about 1.4 million businesses, right? And guess what? They produce 1.5 million employment, which means that it's basically a man or a person with his or her dog, literally. So we want to grow businesses. We want businesses like yours to grow to the point that you can employ other people and create other opportunities. And that's basically why we are doing this, to explore opportunities. And through exploring these opportunities, we create employment opportunities for others, as well as find ways to grow our businesses. But you mentioned that you are on social media, and I wouldn't want you to lose this opportunity to advertise that. So tell us the social media platforms that people can follow you on.
Okay, on Instagram, I am Cindy Couture, CINDICOUTURE on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Akali Cindy, in brackets, Cindy Couture. Then my phone number is 0813-798-1959.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. I know the internet has been quite challenging today. But let me invite the Honorable Commissioner for Industry to probably share some thoughts on what he had so far, and if the ministry also may have plans for people like yourself in the fashion industry.
Yeah, Chief Economic, thank you for bringing me on board. I've tried to listen to what Zubi and the creative success spoke about, and I'm happy that people are beginning to know that employment is everybody's business. It's no more not as usual that you're waiting to be employed. People are beginning to think outside the box, trying to do things themselves. Yes, I wanted to ask her something, because in our little study right now, we found out that we're thinking about something, because I'm going to ask her if that will help. You find out some people after training might not have all they need to start up, or all they need to excel. So thinking about something like business support center, where, for example, if you take fashion industry, there are equipment that each and every one of them cannot buy. If we get them into a business support center, this question goes to the actual entrepreneurs now, because it's going to guide some of our decisions. If we get into a business support center, whether it's going to help their businesses grow, because when they grow, they get people off the market and then get people employed. What I mean by that, like, if fashion industry, you get some equipment, you come there, do the specific things you cannot get the machine for yourself, do them there, go back to your little shop and all that. Whether that is going to help in their business.
Okay. Zubi, do you want to address that? You can ask Ngozi. Ngozi has a lot of people that have graduated from her school as well.
Yeah,
so,
Ngozi.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will go a long way because we do some kind of thing, something like that in our own academy. Most of them graduate, they don't have machines or equipment to work with. So most times we allow them, especially when the school is not in session, to come there and work, you know, do their stuff and go. Yes, it will really help them a lot to really, at least by the time they're there, they'll save up to grow their own business. Yeah.
Yeah, they save up energy, save up space, save up a lot of things. Their business with a little. Okay, that has been noted.
But the Honorable Commissioner, are there thoughts about that? Because I remember the government launched something last year about fashion and where you have this equipment, where I think the Vice President came around. Do you have any insights in terms of where that is and maybe preliminary ideas of maybe what the government is planning to do with that?
With that, no. I'll for now we're still working on that.
Okay.
I will tell you. We'll have it in mind.
Okay, brilliant. But just to say that there is an opportunity there that together we can co-create with entrepreneurs as well as on the government side of things to make sure that we provide the enabling environment and the necessary support system for these businesses. Yes. And Zubi is back. Maybe if you wanted to reflect on that. Zubi, the question was if we had something like a support system from the government. Support center, yes. Would that help businesses like yours? Maybe because there are some machines you may not have access to, or equipment you may desire, but you can't afford. If the government invested in something like that nature, would it benefit people like you, Zubi?
Yes. Of course it will. That was the same thing I said about finances. You need money to start up a business. There are so many things that you can't do without money. So if we can get help from the government, it'll be wonderful.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Right. Noted.
Okay. So let's turn to Ngozi again. I mean, given the position of Imo State in terms of location, so Imo State is between Onitsha, Anambra, and Aba in Abia. Okay. So if you look at that corridor, how can we tap into these opportunities? So instead of just producing for the Imo market, do you see also the possibility to produce for Aba, Onitsha, and even for export?
Okay, the possibility of producing for Aba, to be honest, is not that much because Aba is almost like the China of Africa. Okay, we need to be honest. Okay, so Onitsha, Umuahia, that might be very possible because Owerri has this high standard for fashion. So most of those neighboring towns, they look up to Owerri, okay? So that's the truth. That's the truth.
So are you saying there is no space for production for export? Because that's where I'm coming to.
There's space for production for export. Yeah, we can do that. Which most of us are already doing that. Right here in Owerri. Yeah, we produce.
So do you want to? Yeah, can you tell us more about that? What is happening in that space?
Okay. What sort of opportunities do you see? There's some. Let me talk from my own view. I know I have clients that have mini shops abroad, like African shops. So what they do, they make orders, tell you sizes. So I make them ship it out to them and buy. Okay. So depending on, sometimes the order is so much, I can't even do it alone. I need to invite some of my students that graduated from my school, to partner with them to do such. So I'm just talking about me. And I know there are other fashion entrepreneurs that are still into the same thing. Yeah. So there's a big opportunity for exports. Yes.
Okay, and what about the payment system? Do you charge them in Naira or dollars or euros? Have you figured a way around that one?
For some is in dollars, but there are few of them because most of them are still Nigerians, so they wouldn't want to pay in dollars that much. They're trying to, break even. They don't want to reduce their own profit margin. Okay, yeah, but We're still working on, like now, eBay and which other whatever that Nigerians can actually sell on those platforms. So if you can work on your standard, most of us, that's the issue we have, is that what we produce is not up to standard. So once you can produce what is up to standard, they buy.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm happy you mentioned this issue of standard, and I've heard also that sometimes the issue that becomes a problem. But how do you think it can be solved? Who can help us produce these standards, or how can we
regulate?
That's what we're actually working on. If you train well, if you have a good foundation, you understand what the production line is, you'll be able to produce well. Your finishing, your sizing, your packaging will be up to standard. But most times when we just go to, anyway, I wouldn't blame most people. Maybe they can't afford to go for good fashion schools. They just go down the street and learn. So there's no how that can fly over abroad. Nobody will buy that. And most of us around might not even want to patronize such people. So that's it. It's not something you just establish a particular standard for. There are sizes, and the finishing too, depending on what you're producing, because each outfit has their own finishing technique. So once they train well, that's one of the things that pushed me into the fashion school, because I did a bespoke for years before I opened the fashion school. Because sometimes I'll just go to church and see what people are wearing, and I feel so sad. It's like I want to remove the clothes or undress the person and redo the whole clothes. So, and I found out that I can actually teach these people to do it better, and I can actually learn to even do it better and teach others. So that's that. The standard.
So what about the Standard Organization of Nigeria? Are they not doing anything in this regard in terms of standardization?
They have what they do. That in fashion, there's still quality control. Okay, but there's always that how will I put it? There's a limit to what people can actually supervise.
Okay.
There's a limit
great.
to what supervise. Yeah.
Dr. Jude, please. Okay,
Sorry about this. So I was saying part of the things that influences standard or the quality of material used, quality of fabric used in making this clothes or whatever. Where do you source them? Is there a market where if you import these materials, they use quality materials? Because if the materials are not of quality, then the standard drops.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And also, I know Nigerians are well gifted. Nigerians do everything. If it's in Europe or United States, India, even India, a fashion shop will have stylists, they will have fashion illustrator, they will have pattern cutters, and they will have all these people in the chain. But here, I know once you're a tailor, you do everything yourself. And obviously, there's no way you can compete with those in the international market. So there is certainly a market in the export region, but your quality, can you measure up? So that's my question. Where do you get your quality materials? Do you source them locally? Do you import them?
Okay. The question is for me, sir.
No, you can go for it. Then
yes, every one of you that is a fashion entrepreneur, yes.
Okay. I source my materials from the local markets, Aba, because we have major importers. They import from, abroad. We don't produce fabrics here, apart from even our local Ankara materials. Most of them are not produced here. Okay, so we buy from them. But if you're experienced, you will know good quality fabric when you see one, which is part of what we teach in the fashion school. You don't just buy anything. Okay, so now you talked about the fashion chains. Yeah, that is what we're trying to change. We're trying to change the status quo of one-man business, cut, sew, illustrate, design, and even sell at the same time. But it has to do with size and structure. I can't just wake up one day, buy one machine, and want to be a fashion factory. A factory, I can afford to employ.
Zubi, do you want to reflect on that as well? Why we try to recover?
Actually, now I don't own a fashion house, so I can't really say much.
Okay, but in terms of people who come to you, do you advise them on the materials or where even to get the materials?
Yes, of course. I actually buy from the local market to Aba. They have really nice materials there. They have almost everything.
But let's even go back to the idea of I think John said he started from Okrika, bend down boutique kind of thing. Do you find any threat from that segment? Is it a threat to your business? Zubi, do you want to reflect on that?
Threat. Sorry, say that again.
The Okrika market, Okrika second-hand clothes.
No, it's not a threat to my business.
And you target young people; they like to be fashionable, right? So
yeah, I design stuff from my head.
Okay.
Yes, I bring it out from my head and I make them. So it's different from what you see regularly.
Okay.
Yes.
But there's an opportunity there too, right? I mean, there are people there is a segment of society in Imo State that will also patronize Okrika market. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Of course, Okrika is really cheap. So I think anybody can afford it.
So do you see an opportunity there? That's the point I'm trying to make.
No.
Not for you, right? I mean, okay, fine. Ngozi, what do you think about the Okrika market?
I did a course last year on sustainability in fashion. And to tell you the truth, thrift is one of the things they encourage us to do. Okay. It's part of the one of the things they encourage us to do, to sustain the environment. So for me, it's not my passion. I wouldn't want to go into that, but there is opportunity there. People make money from buying and selling thrifts a whole lot. I have a neighbor that does that, and she's doing very well. Yes, there is.
Yeah, the other thing also that when it comes to bespoke kind of business, it's meant for certain segments of society who can afford these things and on a regular basis. But how then do we ensure the idea that clothing is for everyone? It's a basic human need. So housing, clothing, and food, right? So how do we ensure that we are also extending this service to other parts of society, especially given the fact that you're into sustainability? And one of the key things about the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, is leave no one behind. So how do we make fashion inclusive as well?
Okay, so just like food, everybody eats. At least most people, you eat according to what you can afford. The same goes for fashion. You clothe yourself according to your own budget. Even if I'm doing bespoke, I know how much I can afford. I go to the tailor that can make it at that cost. Okay, so yes, we are accommodating everybody, every class. Yes.
Okay, fine. And then how do you support you have a network of tailors by now? Somebody on the chat is saying that there is also an opportunity for you to build that network of tailors to the point that they can feed into the international market. Wouldn't that be an opportunity too?
Yes, there's a FADAN, Fashion Association of Fashion Designers of Nigeria. So it's a platform that all tailors actually belong to. Okay, when opportunity comes, they advertise, and anybody that is interested can grab that. And we have an Imo State chapter too. Okay, so I think
we're already on course. Yeah, Zubi, are you part of this network?
I'm actually hearing it for the first time.
So because you need to do more work there. So if there are many people like Zubi and
I'm not an ESCO, I'm just a member, but yeah, at least I'll get back to her. I will link her.
Okay, thank you. So that's the beauty of this program. At least Zubina knows that there is an association like that. So again, for those who are just joining, this is the Imo Economy Study webinar series where we explore opportunities in Imo State. It's run by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State government. So we are coming to the end of it now. Time usually flies, as my panelists would attest to. So Dr. Jude Nzagu, I don't know if you have any final thoughts before I invite the Honorable Commissioner for his own views as well.
Do too many things at the same time.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting session. The fashion industry appears to be quite a huge one that can engage a lot of our youths, a lot of graduates. I've seen my sister there, Zubi, is a graduate, it's a good example. So I'm sure there are a lot of graduates out there doing nothing or wondering what they can do. This is a great opportunity for them. And for investment-wise, I've always told people that the best thing in life, the best way to start is to have an idea. It is the idea that rules the world. Once you have the idea, then the money will come in. So if you're able to put together a nice business model, fashion can attract good investors, and the money won't be that much to get you started. So I like to appreciate all the sisters that participated in this. It's really a wonderful one. And for those that listened, there's great benefit. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, great. So, Honorable Commissioner, any final thoughts before we disappear?
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I think this is a very interesting episode. This is the first time I'm joining, and I think it's worth keeping. To our entrepreneurs, the fashion industry, as it is right now, is going to be a hot cake as it goes, because the new generation is more fashion oriented than the older people. So you see it as a prospective industry. That's why I asked that question. We've been able to identify industries that could move to the next level. I see fashion industry as an industry that could go to the next level. And what that means that whoever is in it should strive, should continue to be in it. I see it as a going concern, a business that will work. We at the government level, we're thinking for everybody, just like us, we're exploring avenues we can come in to create, because each time you support any small industry, you're getting people out of the market, unemployment market, getting them employed, which is one of the major things His Excellency is geared towards achieving right now. That's why we created the industry ministry as a separate industry. We're going to work on how to, as much as we can, to get people off the market. They then get employed. When they get employed, definitely social miscreants, insecurity, and so on and so forth will reduce. That whole thing. So, Chief Economic Advisor, I encourage you that we bring in other sectors as we go along, which I want to participate to, so we can hear them. From hearing from people, it helps you even think. So you don't go and begin to do some white elephant projects that won't get to the people. When you hear them talk, you know where the point, you know where you can. There could be small things that you can touch, and that would be the magic hand. So I'm happy, and I appreciate everybody that has participated in this, and wish everybody well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Architect Chijioke Onumaju, the new Commissioner for Industry, and congratulations on your appointment, and for also accepting to do this despite the fact that you're new. So that's the spirit, is teamwork, and we continue to push agenda. So that leaves me with a few seconds now to thank the audience, to thank the panelists, Zubi, Ngozi, and John, and also to thank my office crew that put this together, Mrs. Jovita Ago and Ms. Adeza Shaheme, for an interesting session today. So see you again in the next couple of weeks, and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh-oh.